now listening to the Sportz Nutz.
Hey, it's the Sportz Nutz, y'all.
Monday through Friday, 5 to 7 p.m. Buy one, get one 50% off drinks.
Tequila's Grill Mexican restaurant has homemade salsa bars. They have the most authentic, most delicious, and most affordable Mexican cuisine in town.
Hey, welcome to the Sportz Nutz, y'all. Yes, we're coming to you live at 11 a.m. Yes, we're so excited to have all those who are going to tune in and watch. We know you guys are going to enjoy what we're talking about. We might get joined by our good friends, Mr. Matt, Shane, and Hank. Not sure they are at work, but this is a perfect time to have our guest come on. We are thrilled beyond everything imaginable to have this gentleman come on. He is a current professional baseball player for your Columbus Clingstones. Yes, we are extremely excited to have him come on. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's go ahead and bring him on. Before I do, real quick, actually, remind you, we will be giving away T-shirts, merchandise, gift cards, baseball tickets, everything this Saturday at our live on location at Tequila's Grill and Easley. So, if you'd like to meet us, come on, stop on by 6:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern. We will be there, Tequila's Grill and Easley. And if you can't make it in person, tune in. We will have our traditional episode as well at 7:30, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Guys, let's bring him on. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jonathan Hughes. Jonathan, how you doing, man?
Good. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, man, absolutely. We have so many people who absolutely enjoy the game of baseball. And I want to start off right away and say this. First off, I saw the picture worth 1,000 words, and I got to ask you, what was it like meeting one of the greatest pitchers of all time in Tim Hudson?
Oh, yeah, that was it's kind of crazy growing up, being a Braves fan, going to Turner. It was really cool, like not only watching him pitch at a young age and then seeing him as I was going through, high school and college and stuff like that. But he was definitely one of the guys that definitely watched a lot, and it was really cool to meet him. Super awesome dude. Just he was there to talk about anything, and he was open to anything, and he was very personable, which was really cool.
Yeah, I have been a big fan of Huddy for, gosh, as long as possible. This was for you. This is our good friend Hank. He is with us. He actually said, "Welcome to the show." So you are, yes, you were very pleased to have you on. But Tim Hudson, gosh, like just think about the amount of miles that he has accumulated in baseball, and to the dawn, the knowledge that he bestows on people. Oh man, it's just amazing. He's a great baseball player. But you told me off camera, you grew up in Flower Branch, and obviously that's where the home of the greatest football team that ever walked the face of the earth is, in the Atlanta Falcons. But I gotta ask you, have you been to the $50 million football complex yet at Buford High School?
I've drove by it a couple times. I have some buddies that went there. So around the baseball field I have, but yeah, that place is it's a lot better than most D1 colleges. So
yeah, it's so excuse me. I coached football at Avondale High School. I don't know if you remember them. And they were a perennial powerhouse football program from like the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and then towards the start of the 2000s, they really fell off real quick. And DeKalb County unfortunately shut down the school after the only year I was there. But I remember going to Buford High School and sitting in there. This is before they had got the new complex. I'm like, man, this is like college level kind of a field. But it really it's something to be a part of, to be able to see like schools are catching up to the times. And when you played, what inspired you to become a pitcher? And what inspired? Where did you fall in love with the game the most?
Ooh, that's a good question. I starting in T-ball, like you're just out there having fun, right? And um, we started travel ball, and I think high school ball was cool. You got to play different players that you didn't play really in travel ball, and um, I don't know. I think I always really had the love for the game. Um, my dad spent countless hours with me out on fields doing whatever, ground balls, hitting, fly balls, just throwing in general. And I think that was one thing I enjoyed doing with him. So like not only doing that with him was a love for the game, but I think, once high school hit, going into college and stuff like that, that's when I really stopped hitting. Once I got to college, they were like, "Yeah, no, you're gonna just pitch." I'm like, sounds good. So I think that's really when I started like bearing down as a pitcher. Granted, in high school and travel ball and stuff like that, we definitely, really worked on pitching too. But college is where I really like nailed in this is what I'm the best at. So let's go with that.
Hey, our good friend Shane has joined us. Shane, say hello to Jonathan, man.
How's it going, Mr. Jonathan?
How you doing, Shane?
Oh man, just took a little break from work to come in here. So,
There you go.
oh yeah, well it's been a busy morning. So,
So, when you got your name called by the Orioles, what did it mean to you to hear that call that you're being selected by the Baltimore Orioles?
It's been so long ago. It was awesome. It's one of those stepping stones in baseball that people can go through, and if you're lucky enough, you are. But it was really cool. It was definitely something that was like a wow, like I did that type feel. So it was nice.
What was your most memorable college moment at Georgia Tech?
Mm.
That's a stump one there.
Well, I was there for many years. What did I think I always go back to we were in the ACC tournament and we were facing NC State, and it was in North Carolina. So a bunch of North Carolina fans, NC State fans, and running low on pitching, and so it was me and one of my teammates were like, "Hey, y'all gotta pretty much take over this game," because we're in the close to getting. I think we were semifinals or something like that. But he started, duked it out for as long as he could, and I went as long as we could. And then we had one guy come in to finish the game. But it felt like a full on, like, we're all grinding it out, like get in there and get it done. We got the win, so it was pretty cool. I like that moment.
It's so funny you mentioned that because your wife just chimed in and said NC State. So that's so cool that you guys are like intertwined. Like, hey, by the way, I got to give a huge shout out to your wife Hannah for she made the post in the group that you were a part of the fan base and you guys were extremely excited to do things in Columbus and kind of be home. So shout out to your wife, absolutely, and then for her responding back to me was really cool. So please let her know we said absolutely thank you for helping set this up, because it really does mean a lot to us that you have come on our show.
I will for sure. Yeah, she's pretty great.
oh yeah. Well, my dad graduated from state, so I got to pull for him too.
So there's a gentleman named Chris Harden that says that was an amazing fame, and then you have another one that says wifey of the year. Now the next one says, do you like University of Georgia football?
Oh gosh. That's father-in-law. No. We'll just keep it with what's a good word, and we'll stay with that.
Hey, I get it. Family. It's always good to have like family heckle each other. My wife is a big Clemson family fan. My brother-in-law Seth went to Clemson, but I'm not. I cheer for them, but I don't cheer for them. You know what I mean? That's like that's my secondary team. My team is obviously the University of Hawaii for good reason. But I got to ask this question: what is Synovus like? I mean, I've seen the pictures, I've heard the fans, I've seen the videos people post, and it's got. I mean, you have to agree. It's probably one of the most like beautiful minor league stadiums you've ever been to, right?
Yeah, that's big leagues. Let's just put it that way.
Awesome.
We had multiple guys with big league time, and they came in going, "This is Double A."
Awesome. So look, our guy Hank said Jonathan's being diplomatic. That means that you are just kind of being okay with the comments, but I love it. And then your wife says, "Go Dogs!" Yes.
Yeah,
So
you'll see a lot of those.
so obviously, baseball has just really started getting going. We saw what the Atlanta Braves started out with. Obviously, the Atlanta Braves started 0-7. Since then, they're 13-8. They're only 2 games behind Philadelphia for the second place in the division. There is a couple of radio stations around this area that said that Atlanta should go ahead and throw in the towel and be prepared for 2026. What do you think in your mind has clicked the right way for the Atlanta Braves to have started turning around?
I was blessed with the opportunity to back up some of the big league games and be around the guys in the bullpen, and there's not a bad guy there. Everybody's a team guy. Like they really truly like want to win, and I feel like at a certain point stuff will click. I think early on it's just, tough luck. Like they're not going out there trying to lose. They're not going out there trying to give up the hits or the runs or strike out. So, and it's baseball. It's not an easy sport, and I think that once you give up that, people say give up that early. It's like just give them time. Like some of these teams will go on a stretch in 1 month and lose 7 games. Like they just got it out of the way in the first 7.
Yeah.
So I think that as a organization, I think that they're starting to creep along, get going. There's injuries, there's ups, there's down, there's slumps, there's X, Y, and Z, and that's why it's baseball. The next guy up, another guy's got to come in and get the job done. So I think that they're finding a way to start getting these wins and get on a roll that way.
Absolutely, and I've been a Braves fan since 1989. I remember the year they went from worst to first, and they became like a household name. Obviously, the 90s were like one of those like crazy, insane, great times, great decade, really, for baseball. And it was obviously disappointing that Atlanta didn't get but only one champion out of that entire decade run with some of the greats. But you've gotten the privilege to actually be on this in the same bullpen really as one of the greatest closers to ever walk the face of the earth with Craig Kimbrell. What was that like? Knowing that you have this future Hall of Famer literally right next to you in the bullpen.
It was, I think, pretty cool. I grew up watching him too. Of course, he was a Brave, and you sit back and let it sink in, and you figure out that he is human. Like he's not like you go up and talk to him, and you're gonna have a good conversation with him. He's an awesome guy. You can talk to him about literally anything, ask him anything, and he's an open book. It was really cool to meet him and watch him warm up, watch his preparation, watch his him perform. And it speaks volumes. He's at this age, he's still doing it. Like it's not like he's run out of anything, and he's I don't know. It was pretty cool to experience that for sure.
Your wife just said, "We love Kimbrel, the sweetest family. Lydia, their sweet daughter, is a walking miracle. She has an incredible story. I would love to hear that story. Eventually, obviously, you don't have to tell me now. You can tell me later. I'd love to hear it because I absolutely adore Craig Kimbrel. I think he's one of the greatest to ever walk the game. Shane, you have a question? Go right ahead, man.
Oh yeah, well, I'm going to switch into kind of work mode for you since we're talking about the Braves season and seeing how they're doing.
One of the things that we see as fans and all, they kind of struggle early on in the games about maybe giving up a run or two here first couple innings, and then later on in the innings with the bullpen, they if they get a lead, it's almost like they just out there playing pitch and catch, not really trying to hit spots and stuff like that. Is that something that you guys kind of work on there in your pen sessions and stuff like that? Kind of the struggles that you see kind of in the majors, does it kind of come down knowing that you guys are probably going to get the chance to go up at some point?
I mean, I think that I'll try to answer this question best I can, but every pitcher is different. So how they handle a situation is going to be different. Some people have their best pitch is this, or their best quality thing is this, right? And so whatever that is, you're going to work on that. You're going to do that in the games, and the minor league is all about getting prepared, right? So, yes, your bullpens, yes, all the stuff that you're doing in practice before the game is important, and you're working on stuff. But then, when you're in the game, like it's something that you can use as like practice too, right? Like it's not the big leagues, right? So you can use that game to really hone in what you're trying to work on, and it gives you that game like sense.
Oh yeah, especially in certain situations. I bet games better to practice, especially the speed of it than actually say in a bullpen session or something like that.
100%.
Hey, your father-in-law said, "Gotta go to work. Enjoying the listen. Thanks, guys. Go get him. JB28. Go Clingstones." So it's always good. Like I said, it's always good to have your family really be involved with you. And our good friend Mr. Hank Russell, the gentleman I was telling you about, who's in Memphis. Hank, man, how are you doing?
Hey, how y'all doing, man? Hey, Jonathan, thank you for joining the Sportz Nuts today, man. How you doing otherwise?
Can't complain. Nice to see you, Hank.
Yeah, man, absolutely. I just got one question, and then I'm gonna let you have it. So, who is a notable veteran that you've probably pitched against that you said that win or loss that you were just glad that you had the experience or you were glad to get past it?
I like that.
It can be more than one.
Well, wasn't necessarily the best outing I've had, but I did get pretty much. I faced the whole, Philadelphia Phillies lineup in spring training, and faced Schwarber, faced Stott. I faced shoot, I'm blanking all the names.
Harper? No, Harper. He didn't play. Harper plays for Phillies.
I faced everybody but Harper.
Oh.
And
I was-
knows.
Yeah, I was about to say I would not be comfortable with that lineup either. So there's no shame.
Yeah, well, Schwarber definitely let me know what it's like. So, yeah, I think that'd probably be my answer on that one. It wasn't the best experience, but I got through it and it was pretty cool.
No, it's understandable when you go up against these veterans, especially. I'm assuming that the majority of your times were kind of short-lived as far as the pros. Am I on the in a respectful manner? I asked that
as in what?
as in like what was your longest stint in the majors?
Well, I never made it to the major leagues. This are the backup games in the big leagues. So the spring training games.
Okay, okay. As you can,
That
yeah.
because the minor leagues will back up those games. So that's one of the games I backed up was against them.
The point I'm making is that more at bats make a better hitter, and more innings on the mound obviously make a better pitcher, especially at a certain level. And certainly certainly understand the intimidation factor, but I'm definitely wishing you the best in this. From what I'm hearing, that there's probably some a bigger light at the end of the tunnel. Am I assuming correctly?
100%. That's the plan.
Yes, and you have my word that if I can find a jersey big enough for me to wear, I will put on your jersey. But I will be doing it with one hand because I'll have my nose pinched because I am a St. Louis Cardinals fan. So, but no, I didn't want to bother you too much, Jonathan. But I just wanted to ask you that and make my presence on the Sports Nuts this episode on there. But Brandon, I'm gonna let you have it, man.
Sounds good, Hank. You take care,
Thank
brother.
you.
Yeah, man.
So obviously, baseball is a fickle sport, and people don't realize that they expect it to be you have to win immediately, right this second, or else kind of thing, right? And we're seeing a lot of transition going on in the West. Really, we saw it last year with the Athletics, and this year we're seeing it with Colorado. Obviously Colorado, they're kind of in a severe hurting right now, but the game in general is it's still known as America's pastime. If you could fix, and I know you got to it's kind of a dicey question, but if you could fix one thing to make Major League Baseball be the absolute best of the best, what would you do?
I'd say probably keep it the way it is. There's a reason why it's lasted for so many years.
I like that. I like that answer.
Some of the changes I understand, I get it, but baseball is baseball. It's been a known sport. Whether the rules people just know it, so it's like don't change it. It's been so good. It's baseball for a reason. So I wouldn't change anything.
The old thing, if it ain't broke, don't fix, right?
100%.
It's very true. So, this year is the first to ever have it happen with baseball. The entire Atlanta Braves organization is in one state. You have the Augusta Green Jackets, you have the Columbus Clingstones, the Rome Emperors, the Gwinnett Stripers, and of course the Atlanta Braves. How significant do you think that is, knowing that you really don't have to travel far to go up to Cobb County?
I mean, I think it is really, really cool. The only team left that wasn't in Georgia was the Mississippi Braves. That was the last team. I think that it's helped a lot. I think that you'll see a lot of rehabs come to AA now more than they did in Mississippi because it's not as far. And I do think that it's just cool as a whole. Like every team in the Braves org is in Georgia. Like that, you can't say that about a lot of the teams. So I think that's just kind of a cool little thing that we have.
Absolutely. Shane, you have a question. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, kind of getting back on the thing of the baseball is America's pastime. Anything that you would change? Being a pitcher in the majors and especially going through spring training with those guys. How was it with the automated ball strike challenge stuff? How did y'all indulge much on that?
I had it I had a check. I had one checked one time. It was not me, by the way. It was the catcher. I don't dare do that. It was a ball. I didn't think it was a strike, but he did. But it was just a. I mean, you're talking like they say like greater than like 0.3 inches. It's like I mean that's I mean that's very small. Like
That's extremely, yeah.
yeah. So it's pretty precise. I feel like. I think that they shouldn't go fully automated, but I think that the challenge of balls and strikes, having that is I think that's pretty cool, especially on the ones that like, everybody's human. I mean, you'll see him in the game. You're like, I was right down the middle and called a ball, and but I think that I don't think that we give the umpires that much credit. They are pretty good, but like I said, they're human. So having that is kind of
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, and so kind of you'd like to see it more so like the mound visit rules, like you only get so many per inning per pitcher kind of deal before you've got to make a decision. Can't do any more challenges per se.
I'll be honest with you. I don't even know how many mound visits we get. So,
I think you get two and then you got to go after
well,
that.
yeah, but I'm saying I think as a
Yeah.
whole, I don't even
Yeah.
know what it is.
Okay.
Hey, there was a comment here. Do you think there should be a salary cap in baseball?
Uh, if someone thinks you're worth something and you get paid for it, it is what it is.
I like that comment. Obviously, tagging on that one, we saw Shohei Ohtani getting almost $1 billion. That still is an insane number for any athlete in general. But the Dodgers, they're going to be pulling the Bobby Bonilla effect for gosh forever and a day. He'll get paid. He'll be long since retired from baseball, and he's still going to rack them paychecks up with it. But it is interesting like that one. Hank just said, I feel like that if you had an automatic umpire, that it would make it harder to protest the call and get them on the right track. Do you agree with that statement?
Uh, I mean, to a certain degree. Uh, but then again, I'll go back to my answer earlier about changing baseball. Anything in baseball, there's a reason why baseball is baseball.
Mm-hmm.
So
Absolutely.
what are you just gonna take the umpire and just you gotta
Kick him to the
just we
curb.
don't even need you anymore. Well, now you're changing baseball. So whether you get a bad call or whether you get a good call, I mean that's like we saw, it's baseball. I mean, why are we changing something? Like, yeah, I get it. There's some blatant obvious ones that people get aggravated about. I have in the past, but it's baseball.
Yeah.
So you don't want to change something that you might regret later.
Still got to have that human error effect in there to
That's
Yeah,
make
right.
it
I
kind
was
of
just about to
stand.
say that.
and it's really, and a lot of times it's not really that bad. So if you look at the umpires and what they were calling and the '80s and stuff, you'd be like, that's a
Yep.
strike. So we're
Oh
already
yeah.
shrinking up the zone as it is. So I think that I don't think that it would be a necessarily a good thing, but I'll stick to my answer saying that I'd keep baseball the way it is.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I was watching the thing. They said, Maddox and Smoltz and all them back in the early '90s, they would have been in trouble if we had that automated strike system.
They'd adapt, but it would take them a minute.
Hey,
Yeah.
real quick, Hank just asked a question. What do you think about the torpedo bats?
I mean, they've been around. I think that if you get it in the middle of the bat, you get it in the middle of the bat. So for me, I hunt not the barrel. I want the end of the bat. I want the handle. So you're making it a little easier to break a bat. Have it come off not as hard. But if you hit it on the sweet spot of the bat, regardless, you're gonna hit it. You're gonna hit it hard. So it is what it is. I mean, they're not illegal.
Nope.
So
Yeah, and I was going to say, you being in the minors, you've probably seen more of them because I've heard, basically more so people are using it in the minors, and this year it finally just blew up in the majors because they got comfortable enough with it.
it's weird. They could use it, they cannot use it. I'd never know. Like sometimes you just don't even pay attention to that. But I'm
Tunnel
sure guys.
vision.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure guys use them, but at the end of the day, it makes it. I feel like it makes it a little harder on the hitter
Oh yeah.
because
Because they're trying a little harder.
not even that. I mean, if you miss, that much on the end of the bat, I mean, if you easy physics, like the end of the bat, as skinny as the handle, it's like, I mean, that's probably gonna break. So that forces them to really hit on the sweet spot. But you know, it
All
is
right,
what
so
it
let me
is.
ask you this: who was your all-time idol growing up? You like, I mean, you can do a pitcher, hitter, both, whatever. Who was your idol?
Oh, I don't know. I don't think I could tell you. I just enjoy watching baseball. I mean, John Smoltz was fun to watch. I'd always watch, videos of like Randy Johnson. I mean, he's a lefty, but I mean, he's a madman out there. I think Mariano Rivera was really cool, especially in the situation that I'm in as a reliever and stuff. And for him to throw pretty much predominantly one pitch, it's pretty impressive. And do what he did. I don't know. I mean, I there was the era that I grew up in watching baseball. We had some really really good, you know, players.
Oh
So it's
gosh, yeah, there
hard
was
to
some of the
pick.
top line.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well,
There are some of
hey
those
man.
players that you have to sit there and go like, "Oh my god, that was the best." Hey, real quick before Shane lets you go, Shane, go ahead and say goodbye to him.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, man.
I appreciate you coming on. Hopefully, at some point we're gonna get down there and check the game out of you guys in the new ballpark, man. So definitely looking forward to that, man. Good luck with your season, and until we talk again, hopefully it'll be sooner rather than later.
For sure. I appreciate that. Let me know if you come down. We'll link up.
All right, for sure. Peace, love, and
See you,
bacon
Shane.
grease.
See you.
All right, so you said you literally said this. What just was like there's so many great players back in the day, and this is a comment. You're a great spokesman for baseball, well spoken, and speaks with great baseball IQ. So yes, so my all time favorite player, actually, was David Justice. Do you remember him?
I do.
So I oh my god, I remember I got to meet him by chance. We were at an autograph session, and it was him, Bobby Cox, and Greg Maddox. They were all at this Chick-fil-A in Roswell, Georgia. And I got to meet David Justice, and I'm in my 20s at this time. And Jonathan, I don't care if I'm 15 or 45, and I'm 41 right now, but whenever I get to meet my favorite player, I'm still going to be like a kid at a candy store, or even a kid at a Christmas morning opening all the presents. I mean, I was so like starstruck. And, you absolutely have those players, whether it be in any sport, where you get to meet them and you go, oh my God, this was the highlight of my entire life, is getting to meet my all-time great. My favorite player all time in any sport was Dikembe Mutombo. My favorite was the no at my house when you blocked the shots, play for the Hawks. Met him when I was 15 years old. They were playing at Alexander Memorial when they were building Phillips Arena. Now it's called State Farm Arena. But I got to meet Dikembe Mutombo, and obviously it struck a chord in a sad way that he passed away, unfortunately, last year with due to brain cancer. But have you ever had any like favorite athlete that you are just like, oh my gosh, I'm standing right next to XYZ?
I'll be honest, it's really tough. I growing up, I really never had like a huge, Braves were one, but like sports teams, you adopt all these different teams, right? And when you talk about football, I don't necessarily, watch one certain team, right? I'm watching different players. And then, you talk about basketball, like I watch players. I don't I don't have teams, and baseball was one of those things that I enjoyed watching all these different players do different things, right? So you have, Greg Maddux, I mean, the king of, throwing the least amount of pitches and getting more guys out in 9 innings ever. Um, and you, like I said, Mariano. I'll go back and watch some of his tapes, and it's like this guy is incredible. Like
Mm-hmm.
watch him do what he does, and now you see Shohei Ohtani, you see Aaron Judge, you see all these guys coming out and doing these crazy things. It's like I don't think I necessarily be starstruck, but I'm just like I'm very impressed and very like it's a respect level for me, and I don't think I have like a oh my gosh, if I was next to that guy, like I'd be, jitty. I rather just I rather just because I've met some of these guys. I met Charlie Morton last year. I've met Chris Sale, and like some of these guys would be like some all time greats for some people, which they are. It's not dragging anybody down. Like these guys are like the best of the best doing it at a really high level, and I think respect wise of how they are as a person is really cool. And I can't really put a finger on somebody. I'd be like that one because there's far too many.
So your wife is heckling you. She said, "Don't let him lie. He's a Georgia football fan."
No.
All right. So you guys are taking on. You guys had a little bit of a tough road trip in Chattanooga. You guys are starting off a home series run with Biloxi. What are you guys going into this series? What are you looking forward to do? Obviously, getting back on track is one thing, but what are you guys hoping to start with this series, starting with Biloxi?
I think the hitters struggled a little bit here and there. I do think that they've put some good swings on the ball. Gotten a little unlucky on some breaks, whether it been a not a crazy play or just hitting it right at some guys. So I know these guys they'll start to fall. We'll start to score some more runs and stuff. And as a staff, just going out there and limiting the free 90s and really pounding the zone, making sure that they're taking care of what they need to take care of and throwing up zeros. And if you're, in a jam or something like that, it's limiting the, how many you give up. Like you give up one, all right, well, let's not give up two. You give up two, let's not give up three. Give the hitters a chance to come back and do what they need to do. So, I think off this week, there was some good, there was some bad. Scores might not reflected a lot of it, but we're excited to get back out there and rock and roll for this week.
I like it, and I will tell you, we are beyond. I can't tell you how excited we really are because we're, like I said, we're kids in a candy store. We're so excited. Baseball is back. Look, Columbus is a historic town. It's beautiful. The people there, they're some of the nicest people in the world. I mean, shout out to everybody in the city of Columbus, which, by the way, we have 38 people watching right now. And I can guarantee you they're all part of that Columbus Clingstones group. So shout out to all the fans there. The greatest town there ever was for baseball. Jonathan, I can promise you, me, Matt, Shane are definitely going to be coming to multiple games. We're going to be there. And when we do, there is a Sportz Nutz prize pack that we have of stuff with your name on it already. Please extend a warm thank you and appreciative hugs to your family for allowing you to come on and bend our ear for 40 minutes. It really does mean a lot. And the moment you have my number, so the moment we're coming down there, I'm letting you know, hey, we're coming there. We're going to be the loudest bunch of fans you could ever imagine. And yeah, man, we are beyond proud of you. We're excited for you. And hopefully you get that call to Gwinnett. And then, of course, get that call where you drive literally 45 minutes down the road from Gwinnett to Cobb County, and you were on that because I see good things coming from you, man, and I'm excited for you.
I really appreciate that. Thank you. And it means a lot.
And like I said, we're gonna be there, and you best believe we're gonna be the loudest fans imaginable for Clingstones. Jonathan, thank you so much for coming on, man. It really means a lot to me. It means a lot to all of our fans. It means a lot to the whole team. And if you guys can, will you let them know how they can come and watch you guys play?
Yeah, I mean, Synovus Park's on the road. Put in Synovus Park. Don't type in the Clingstones because it'll take you downtown. Which downtown is really nice. A lot of good spots down there. But Synovus Park, I think MILB TV is one that you can get. You have to have a subscription for, but that's it. Come down and hang out and come say hey. I'm normally out there before the game. And like I said, I really appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Shout out again to your lovely wife for getting this set up. I really appreciate it. Shout out to your father-in-law. Great. Like I said, you guys are fantastic people. We love you guys. Hey, go Clingstones. Let's rock it. Let's get that get the winning streak going again and show Biloxi who the true team from Mississippi once was, is you guys, and we're right there cheering for you. Jonathan, you have a wonderful rest of your week. Go Stones, and let's rock it. Sound good?
Sounds good. Appreciate you. Thank you for
man,
having me.
Take care. Absolutely. Take care. Guys, we had a fantastic episode with him. If you have missed any of today's interview, please, we will be on tigernation.live. That is the radio station that we broadcast on. We are also on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and Twitch. We are literally on. We're also on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Check us out if you can. And guys, y'all have a wonderful rest of your week. Thank you so much for tuning in. Remember, tomorrow, guys, we will have the athletic director of Clemson University, Mr. Graham Neff, coming on. We really do appreciate you guys tuning in. Y'all have a wonderful evening. Wonderful day. As I always tell you, peace up. A-Town down. Why it's the greatest sports city there ever was. Y'all take care. Be safe and enjoy the outro of this lovely show. And we'll see you tomorrow. Take care.